This is my dad, Paul. He's also my best friend and partner in crime in just about everything I do. A few years ago, Dad had a big birthday. But the thing is, he's at the point in his life where he has just about everything he wants and needs. So the question every year is, what do we get him for his birthday? And after a lot of thinking, we had the answer. A Reliant Robin, of course. What more could a man want? But that wasn't enough. So, in the week leading up to his birthday, by night I was turning this Reliant Robin into a Harlequin, a multicoloured mobile of opulence. And it's safe to say he loved it. How could you not? Anyway, fast forward a few years, this pretty young thing is my wife, Leah. When we moved back to the UK, Dad asked Leah to give the Reliant a little makeover in her signature flower power style. So, I painted it white and she got to it. Pretty cool if you ask me. But then, as it always does, life just took over. And sadly, there the Reliant sat. After succumbing to rain, snow, bumps and bashes, it's safe to say it had seen better days. But a few days ago, it was Dad's birthday yet again, and with Father's Day fast approaching, we decided to pull out all the stops to give him a great surprise. So, this is the plan. Get the car running and driving, get it painted white, get Leah to work her magic on it, and finally make the flower-powered dream machine a reality. The trouble is, we've only got 7 days. Well, time to strip this thing down and get to work. So here it is, the beastly 850cc engine. Rumour has it you can get up to 85 miles per hour out of this monster. Sadly, anybody who attempted to get that sort of speed out of a Reliant Robin probably didn't make it out the other side, so we'll never truly know its full potential. First things first, we need to get this thing running. It probably hasn't ran in maybe 3 or 4 years, and even then it wasn't particularly healthy. But as you can see, or can't see, there's not actually that much engine in the engine bay. So let me take you around the other side and I'll show you how we work on it. So either side of the centre console there is a panel. So we need to remove those and we can get a better look. Look at that. So on this side we get access to the carb, the exhaust, alternator, and then on this side we've got the ignition system, which seems like a good place to start. So here we have a very crusty ignition system. The coil looks like it's been hit pretty hard and is just disgusting. The plugs are incredibly soiled. Everything under here is pretty corroded. So yeah, it's remarkable it ran at all even a few years ago. So I'm going to give everything a quick clean up and do some testing. So as you can see, I've cleaned everything up. Well, maybe you can't see, it is still pretty grubby. So I'm just going to now test the coil to see if we have life. I've set it to 200 down here, and on the primary we're looking for a reading of hopefully something under 5. 2.2, 2.1. So that is fine. So now we're going to go switch up to 20. And now we are doing the secondary coil, and we're going to put it in here this time, and we're looking for something above 5,000, less than 20,000. 8.71, 8.70, perfect. So in theory, our coil works, even though it looks like it absolutely should not. I've checked the points gap, that's all good. Condenser is good. Spark plugs are as clean as they can be. And I've given this a good clean up on the inside and sanded a little bit off the edges, so we should have a good connection. Obviously, things like the spark plugs we will replace, but we're at the point we're trying to figure out whether it will run, what the issues are. That is a big Hornet. So before we go to the store and start spending money, we need to establish what we actually need and what is actually fine. So I'm going to put all those bits back in and we'll give it a go. That was unexpected.
So as you just saw, we've got very good spark. I'm not sure if the video picked it up, but you might have heard the car actually started to fire. I think it might be a timing issue, so I'm going to loosen the nut that holds in the distributor. I'm going to move it a little bit and see if we can get the timing a little bit better, and hopefully it will fire.
But are we getting fuel? Yes. Don't try that at home. So we had spark and we had fuel, but sadly my ever optimistic hopes of driving into the sunset that day were over.
So I ended yesterday feeling a little bit frustrated as it felt like we were really close. We had fuel, we had spark, and we had a little bit of a splutter here and there, but we didn't have full-on fire and go. Obviously, I messed around a little bit moving the distributor, trying to see if I can make the timing any better, see if we could get it to fire properly, but that would have only helped on the basis the car was actually timed remotely well anyway, and it's not firing, so it probably isn't. So I'm going to go back a step and base time the car. For those of you who don't know, on the timing chain cover there is a line, and then on the crank pulley there are two lines. On this car, one of the lines on the pulley signifies top dead center, and the other line signifies 10 degrees before top dead center. For a base timing on one of these, we need to line up the crankcase line with the 10 degrees from top dead center line on the pulley. Once we've done that, we go inside the car, we pull out a spark plug, we rotate the distributor until we get a spark, and then we lock it in. And that essentially means the car begins to spark in cylinder 1, 10 degrees before it reaches top dead center, so by the time it reaches top dead center, we should be at the optimum spark. I'm hoping that'll do the trick, so let's crack on.
Now, join me in the depths of my engine. If you can make it out, that is the line on the timing chain cover. It'll usually be covered in oil and all sorts of stuff, so it can be hard to make out. Then, if you look closely, those are our lines on the pulley, so that's what we need to be lining up. So, after getting everything lined up, it's time to pull out spark plug number 1. I'm going to drag it through and find a good earthing point. It is then time to twist the distributor looking for spark. If you look closely, you'll see the spark plug does light up. That's where you need to lock it in. So, here goes nothing. I knew we had spark, I knew we had timed correctly, and I knew we had fresh fuel reaching the carb. So, it was time to pull out the carb. So, time to strip this thing down. It certainly was pretty grubby, but it wasn't the worst thing I've ever seen, so I'd be shocked if it was really contributing that much. With that said, with finicky old cars, even a small issue with the fuel or ignition system can cause it not to go. So it's best to check all these things and just rule them out. So, after a lot of air and carb cleaner, things were looking a little bit better. Well, at least they are very shiny. So, for the 100th time, here goes nothing. By this point in the day, I was getting quite cross. So I went home. It was a new day and I decided to time it one last time. I even took the rocker cover off so I could just ensure everything was where it needed to be. And to minimise the issue from those old fuel lines, we had it coming straight from the can. And new plugs, leads, cap and arm. Here we go. She was finally running. Not running well, but still running. But we'll look at that later and get that levelled out. Right now, we need to focus on the paintwork. After sanding everything down and getting rid of whatever that thing is, it was time to tape up and get painting. The paint we're using is a roll-on coach enamel. If you're wondering why I'm using a coach enamel and rolling it on more importantly, it's 3 reasons. First of all, we don't have a paint booth, so there's a limit to what we can do properly in a dusty old barn. Second of all, when Leah paints on top of this, she'll be painting using proper thick oil paint. So from experience, that grips a lot better to coach enamel than it does anything thinner. And finally, If you look closely, it gives quite a cool textured finish, almost like an actual canvas. So, introducing my wife, Leah.
Hi.
I don't know why it's so embarrassing filming these when we're together.
I know.
So, I painted the car
Wait,
white.
do it again.
Okay, what?
The intro.
So, I'd like to introduce my wife, Leah.
Hi.
So, after spending a lot of time repainting this car white, it's time for Leah to work her magic. So, what are you going to do?
I'm going to finish painting the car that I started 2 summers ago. On the sides where the flower is kind of like moving, like we're going so fast, and
Oh,
they're
like kind of like flames.
yeah, but like with flowers, not
That's
like
cool.
yeah. So like the flowers are kind of being like whooshed away. If it flower starts here, then it'll kind of be dragged out to here.
Mm-hmm. We've only got 3 days.
And I also haven't painted in a long time.
Well, Dad will like it regardless.
I know. He's
just happy that we're doing it. Or he'll just be happy that we finished it.
Yeah, and we cannot let him see.
No. Well, his car's broken at the moment, so he can't come here.
Good.
Which is, yeah.
We're not gonna fix it.
Yeah, and I'm not going to fix that.
So he has to stay home.
Yeah.
Happy Father's Day, Paul.
Yeah. Happy
You don't know
Father's
that
Day,
we're
Dad.
doing this right now.
Yeah. But you will soon. Whilst Leah does that, I'm going to continue messing around with the engine, getting it running a little bit better. And we'll check back in after a lot of time lapses of flowers.
Okay, and you're gonna film me while I do this.
Yeah.
In all my awkward
Yeah, exactly.
positions. Okay.
And after lots of painting and chasing vacuum leaks, for the first time, presenting the Flower Power Reliant Robin. So there we have it. The Flower Power machine is back inside and ready to surprise Dad. We've told him we've got something to show him, so he's on his way any minute. And we're going to open the door and hopefully give him a good surprise.
I'm so excited to show Paul what we've done. There they are!
That little dog is Ralph.
Good, damn it, what the hell's going on?
We've got a surprise for you.
Have you? Gosh. Oh.
That's a microphone,
Oh,
Paul.
that's right. Oh, is it? Gosh.
That's not the surprise. That's not the surprise.
You look a little lovelier each day.
Right, we'll see you later.
Okay, bye. Lovely to see you. Do it yourself, Aston Martin kit?
Behind this door is your Father's Day present.
My goodness, that sounds amazing. I wonder what it is. What's going on here? My God, it's a pair of shoes. Oh my God. Oh, God, that's brilliant. That is unbelievable.
That's fantastic.
That is absolutely unbelievable. Wow.
Oh, that's over.
What a brilliant, God, what a brilliant finish on that. That is terrific.
It's cool, isn't it?
I think, gosh,
We're glad Ralph's here.
how come you managed to do it, dare I say, so quickly?
Well, it was a lot of work.
Charlie
Yeah,
had to do a bunch of work on the actual car first.
yeah.
And then I was like, okay, well, I can't really start working until all the sides are painted and it's just, you're not working on it.
Yeah.
And he was working on it while I was painting, and sometimes he was shaking the car, and I was like, you need to see.
I can say I don't know what I would have expected when because I didn't know when you'd eventually do it, because you both got lots to do, but it exceeds any of my potential expectations, but I didn't really have expectations as such. Do you know what I mean? Because but I think that's terrific, and I like the way, those big patches are good, because they give it, again, that big splash of colour.
Yeah.
So yeah, happy Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day, Gabby.
Nice.
So there we have it. One happy dad and a very, very cool Reliant Robin. This was a lot of fun. Certainly there were quite a few moments where I thought we wouldn't be able to get it across the line, but we got there in the end. So this one's for you, Dad. I love you lots, and thank you for being my dad.